Hey, folks, welcome back to The Count. We have some breaking news right now coming out of South Carolina. 10 people have been shot, 2 injured, at least, in a mall in South Carolina. This is in Columbia, South Carolina. Authorities say they have detained 3 people. They do not believe the attack was random. At this moment, the good news is no fatalities, but this brings us ironically, or maybe appropriately, to our story number 8, and that is the blue crime wave. Especially in liberal cities across America, serious crimes are becoming a part of daily life. On Tuesday, in New York, a shooter opened fire on a subway, firing 33 times, wounding 10 passengers and injuring more than a dozen others. Now, by some miracle, nobody was killed in the attack carried out by Frank James, a 62-year-old black nationalist charged with the federal crime of committing an act of terrorism on a mass transit system. This is just one example of a slate of violent crimes committed by thugs who are emboldened by radical and soft-on-crime policies. Joining me right now, Sheriff David Clarke. Thank you, Sheriff. Let me ask you about that South Carolina. This is at a mall in South Carolina, and when you get this kind of information, it's at the Columbia Center Mall on Harbison Boulevard. So when you find that out as a sheriff, what more do you want to know about that situation?
Well, early on, and obviously not enough has come in about this situation in South Carolina, but you'll see a pattern develop with these things. And what I want to know is, they said they have 3 people in custody. They're probably known to law enforcement because they probably have a long criminal histories, and you have a criminal justice system that fails to adequately punish people for repeat violent conduct. When you reward conduct, you get more of it. When you punish conduct, you get less of it. So until we get a different sense in these liberal-run cities, like you said, about what causes crime and how to deal with it, these things are going to continue to happen.
Yeah, when I hear 3 detained, I was a reporter anchor in San Antonio, and there was a gang problem. When I hear 3 arrested, that's one of the first things I think of is whether this was gang-related. Again, we don't know. This is all just coming in, but I was curious about your thought pattern as a sheriff. Let's get back to what happened in New York City on Tuesday. An act of terror in a major city. Less than a week later, it seems like people have moved on. Do you get that feeling as well?
It's amazing how quickly this stuff goes away, but one of the reasons is if there's no juice to squeeze out of the orange for the left, in other words, if they can't play their insidious game of identity politics, they're not interested. They were hoping that this would be a white male. They were hoping that they could blame white supremacy. They were hoping to be able to pull out their gun control agenda, and they were hoping that whoever the suspect was could be found in a photo with a Confederate flag. Well, none of that existed to them, and it was a black male, and it was a black nationalist. They picked up their cameras and they walked away.
Yeah, they like to blame guns also on the left. That's you have a crime that happens, first thing they want to do is outlaw guns. Let's talk about the other side of the country. 17 Los Angeles gangs appear to be coming for the wealthy. Los Angeles hit by 5 terrifying follow-home robberies in 48 hours. Then you've got the woman fleeing from thugs in L.A., but she's caught and mowed down by a vehicle. Last I checked, she was still in the hospital and her life being threatened, possibly. The target, her watch. They wanted her watch. So she rips it off her wrist just to get them away. You've got Gavin Newsom's California, Eric Garcetti's Los Angeles, the radical DA, George Gascon, in the City of Angels. Politicians, some could say they're kind of fostering this anarchy. And how does that change, Sheriff?
Well, it changes when these starry-eyed liberals begin to realize that their failed urban policies as it relates to crime and violence and criminal justice change. In other words, they're going to have to get rid of these no-bail policies. They're going to have to begin once again to use jails and prisons as crime control tools. They're going to have to get rid of these George Soros-funded DAs who will not charge for serious crimes like this. And that's why I said when you reward behavior and the reward for the criminal, they get right out as soon as they're arrested, if they're arrested and they don't get charged. You're going to get more of that behavior. When you start to punish the stuff, which we did during the 80s, the 90s, and early 2000s, we saw historic lows in violent crime and property crime all across the country. Why? When we caught these individuals, we locked them up for the longest period of time allowable by law, but we don't do that anymore. And so, until we return to the stuff that worked, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. Return to the stuff that worked, support the police, stop this foolish defund the police and abolish the police, give police the proper resources, but it isn't just police. If the prosecutors won't charge these individuals, once the police arrest them, they put them right back on the street, it does no good.
Yeah. And the other thing that goes along with it is it crushes Americans' belief that the system works, that there is justice. And you need to, like you said, don't need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, Giuliani came in and fixed New York with so much of that, the broken window policy. If somebody does a low-level crime, they're going to advance to higher ones, or at least, as he said, nobody doing the serious crimes didn't do something less than that at some point. So, Sheriff David Clarke, thank you so much, sir.
Always my pleasure. Happy Easter.